Hey, you guys, this is Deborah.7. I'm in the kitchen. I know it's dark, but I don't feel like getting up and turning on the lights. I'm relaxing right now. I'm taking some me time, getting some things out of my spirit. It gets dumped, and I have to vessel it on out of me to make room for other stuff. So this is the last video in a video series that I've done. The two videos, one was a topic request about healing, how to heal from the past, and the other one was the parable of the King of Diamonds. I recommend both of those. I thought they were very good videos. I mean, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. I never know what I'm going to say until I say it, and even then, I'm in the moment, so I don't realize what I'm saying. I always go back and watch my videos as a spectator, like as a subscriber to my own channel, because I don't know, that's just weird. But I just think that, I ask Spirit to give me whatever's going to touch and help and uplift, because, I choose to operate in the span of that purpose because I like it, because it feels good. And, if I could help somebody else to feel good at the same time, that's awesome. So, this video, oh my God, I've been thinking about this because I share my revelations. As I get them, I make YouTube videos about them. So, some of it be like my own spiritual path. This is my own growth and development, GD. But, this is my own growth and development, so that's why sometimes it be all over the place, because I get random revelations. If you go back and watch my videos, I've covered all type of topics, pertaining to spirituality and maybe new age way of looking at things. So these are my random revelations. As I get them, I share them. Hopefully they'll help somebody. Okay. So the name of this is called Every Relationship is Good in the Beginning. Okay. So I'm gonna start off real smooth, and then I'm gonna get deep, right? Okay, so you know how you meet somebody, right? And the initial spark of attraction you have, deep down, that's divine, seeing divine, that magnetic, little chemistry. We call it chemistry because it's a good mixture, but it's like very spiritual energy type of experience. You never notice how deep that is. Attraction pulls you together like magnets. Okay, so you see somebody, they look nice, you look nice. You start a relationship. Everything is wonderful. You're talking about how much you have in common with this person. I like this person. I like being around them. We have things in common. Whatever, we're compatible in the bedroom. Whatever is holding you in connection to that person. Lord, how much I gotta go. Okay, let me make this quick. Yeah, you liking it. You loving it, right? And as time goes on, you begin to see the negative things in them that start getting on your nerves. And that person begins to irk you and irritate you and irk your fucking soul. You be like, I wish you just leave, but you like. It's like the original like is still got you magnetically attached to that person. The original like is there, and it manifests itself when people say, I'm not in love with them, but I care about them. That's that attachment that you had, that original bond that's still there. Sometimes it's easy to break that bond, especially if they do something that is just a deal breaker. Bam, bond severed. Other times you know that that's kind of not where you want to be in life, and you slowly begin to sever that bond. We are creatures. Since we are spiritual creatures, we are parts of the creators, the source, the mind of God, the essence of God. And God is love. Therefore, that's what we're built for. That we're built to love. That's the way, some people go, well, God made Adam and Eve, and not Adam and Steve, and yeah, whatever. Yeah, you were there. You were there. I know you know. whatever. But we were built, and this is just, this is fact based on human nature. We were built to love. We were, it's what attracts us to other people, even though we say we don't like people and then we want to be around people. Even though we are mad at people and then we forgive them because we want to be around them. Even though we can't stand people and we love them at the same freaking time. It's because we were built to love. That's what we were built on. The problem is everybody does not know how to do it. So, since God is love, I'm going to break that down. Because, I used to hear light workers and star children and star seeds, and they would always say love and light and God is love. And I would go, what in the holy fuck's name do they mean by God is love? God cannot possibly put these evil, narcissistic, psychotic, ignorant ass creatures on the face of this planet and then say that's love. What type of fucking God? I mean, I would go ham. What type of fucking God would do this? It was like, shit, I want to be an atheist so bad. Like, I really wanted to be an atheist. I really wanted, but I just couldn't because I knew better. I was like, there is a source that has orchestrated this whole thing, baby. So I couldn't deny that. But yeah, I was a little bit like, fuck God. Fuck God got some fucking explaining to do. How you gonna say God is love? And we suffer. Everybody I know on some type of level suffers. Except those people that have achieved enlightenment, Buddha and his crew, that know how to live their life without suffering. And most of them motherfuckers have to retreat from society just to do it. What type of God would do that? I have a problem with that motherfucker. Like 2 years ago, I was there. I had a problem. Wait till I die. God got some explaining to do. Some people might say, if that's blasphemy, you shouldn't. That was disrespectful. I'm talking about, this is raw truth right here. This is how I felt. I'm not saying it was right or wrong. Fuck right or wrong. This is how I felt, baby. I stand in my truth. This is how I felt. I ain't get it. I ain't get it until recently. I ain't get it. And it dawned on me one day how God is love. Okay, so I'm going to try to explain it because I wrote it down. God is creation, right? All of creation is God. All of creation comes from the mind of God, right? God wanted to experience God's self. So God began to create. And creation evolved. And creation evolved. And creation evolved. And God let creation evolve in the natural course of evolution, because at the end of the day, it's still God experiencing God. Whether we perceive it as bad, good, ugly, indifferent, whatever. It's still God experiencing God. It's still all divine. It's still all perfect. Now, as far as us, human beings on this earth, I'm going to break it down to us. I was looking at the planets and the quasars and everything. But now I'm talking about us specifically. We are the conscious collectiveness of the mind of God, put in a body and hidden from that truth to rediscover our true natures. Why? I don't know, because it's fun, for laughs and giggles. Because it's fun. I mean, doesn't it feel good to be in love? Doesn't it feel good when you find love? Doesn't it feel good when you're close to God? Isn't that the most awesome feeling ever? This is where the unconditional love part comes in. God loves us enough not to judge us. Because God's true nature is unconditional love. Unfortunately, by the time we get here and we, get born and we go through all this murky waters of existence and the watered down version of God, we not only have we forgotten that, but it's hard to see looking at each other. We're very a judgmental lot. We are. And we have developed certain philosophies to explain why we're here, where we came from, and what source is. And they are called religion. And religion says that we're created in God's image, correct? So if we're judgmental towards ourselves and each other, God must be judgmental towards us. I really think that it's not God. It's not the source of God that puts people in hell. It's people who put themselves in hell because they are so judgmental about themselves. The reason why is because in this process of unraveling the conditioning that has been put on me for 35 years, I learned not to judge other people. Okay, I worked on that for a couple of years, right? Consciously not judging them. And it wasn't even, at first I was trying to see them and see them for the God in them. Whoo, that did not work. That did not work. Because I was like, you dumb fuck, you got God in you. Like, it would just make me angry. Then I started just, at some point they have a right to think fucked up or right or wrong or whatever they perceive as right or wrong. And they have a right to stand in their own truth, whether I perceive it as right or wrong. It's not for me to judge them because they have their own right to their own individual life experience. That's how I learned not to judge. Realizing that all the stuff that conditioned on me as far as rules for my own life, I held myself to a certain standard and then realized I was judging myself when I didn't meet the standard. Oh, I've been judging myself the whole time. I don't forgive self. I'm hard. I am my worst critic. Well, I was my worst critic. I'm hard on self. I'm in my own brain chatter of, Aisha, you should have did it that way. Aisha, you're not supposed to judge that person. Aisha, you're not supposed to yell at those kids because you know better than that. You know that every time you yell at them, all you're teaching them is to attack a problem and treat a problem with hostility instead of the peaceful resolution of it. You know you can't do that. You know that it's your job. And it was creating suffering inside of me. And I was overwhelmed. And once I realized that I don't love myself unconditionally, the moment I realized that, it was the moment God said, hello, where you been at? I've been waiting on you to get it. I was like, it was like, oh my God. God has been there the whole time, but I couldn't see it because I didn't love myself unconditionally. I put conditions on myself naturally just because I assume that God puts conditions on us now. We all assume that God puts conditions on us. You know why? Because karma. I don't even believe in karma anymore. Wow. Like, really, I'm so far past karma. Because that is a condition that self put on self. Everything you go through is perfect. And even if you didn't learn everything you're supposed to learn and come back, karma is punishment. And, we punish. We don't punish. God doesn't punish. We punish. We hold ourselves to a certain standard and punish when we don't live in it. So those who live by the laws of karma, yes, those are the laws that they're going to be held to because they condition themselves to that law. God, the mind, the essence, the God stuff accepts you regardless, loves you regardless, lets you be here to do what you want to do. Whether you want to fuck it up, whether you want to tap dance all on earth and destroy it, or whether you want to live in peace and meditation, we can do whatever we want to do. Free will is unconditional love. It's, I love you enough to let you go out there and learn on your own. And I'll be here waiting when you get back and tell me about it. And we'll sit down and we'll talk. That's love. That's love. All that control shit, we put that shit on ourselves. Okay. So I'm loving self conditionally. I'm accepting self as long as self is at these certain standards. Now I'm going to apply this to relationships. Unconditional love in a relationship. The reason I'm talking about this is because I just got married and I had to truly, me and my wife sat down and really, really defined the definition of unconditional love. If we're going to unconditionally love each other, what does that really mean? Unconditional love is accepting something, someone, some event, some other person, some stranger, some happening for what and who it is and what happens. To unconditionally love the world, as light seekers say they do, is to accept everything as a spark of God. That's it. It just takes practice. I'm not going to even say it's hard. It wasn't hard once I realized that I loved myself conditionally. After that, it was just a matter of practice. It was just a matter of, I've been working on it. I have been working on it for like a good year. And, and right when I can't say I know everything because I know there are other levels to this, but this is where I'm at right now. Unconditional love is truth. It's true giving of yourself. Love is an action word. It's giving of yourself and seeking nothing in return. I realize that in relationships, we love conditionally, even when we say we love unconditionally. Because we love, and this is why the divorce rate is so high. Because we love under conditions. Even though we vow to death do us part, we love under conditions. I love you as long as you're not doing this to me. I love you as long as you ain't black in my eye. I love you as long as you're not, spending all my money, gambling. I love you as long as you're not doing anything that would create any type of negativity and discomfort in my life. I'm going to love you. So we hold the other person to a set of standards. I love you as long as you're doing it, as long as you're trying to make me happy, as long as you communicating with me, as long as you being honest with me, as long as we getting along, as long as you trying to build a future with me, I'm going to love you. But when you fall apart, and everybody has their moments of breakdown in life because the human spirit is so fragile. When you fall apart and you just can't get it together, you got like my mother's situation with my father. My father lost his job and got depressed, and she had a new baby, and she said, boo, I ain't got time for this. I got a new baby and a sick mama. You got to get the fuck up out of my house because you need to go sit on somebody else's couch and be depressed. I got bills to pay. Now, I'm not knocking her. I'm not judging her. I'm just giving that as an example. That is conditional love. That is love under certain conditions. I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. I'm just saying that it is what it is. Don't be mistaken to think that's unconditional love. Investment love. This is me. This is me. I thought I was unconditionally loving. I was investment loving. I was loving. I was pouring all my love in you to get love in return. To get something back. I want to be loved. I want you to make me happy. I'm going to love you with 100% of my being. 95% of my being. I got little selfish moments. I got like a little selfish thing that I am that, most people don't know because I keep a little bit for me to do what I want to do. But other than that, I'm giving most of the time. I'm giving. I'm giving to get. I'm giving to get love, appreciation. I'm giving to have somebody else make me feel good about myself instead of having myself make myself feel good about myself. I'm having my significant other. All we want to do is be happy and feel good about ourselves and not realizing that we can do that ourselves. When you are by yourself, it's harder to do because instead of you focusing on what you got, you're focusing on what you don't got and what you want, which is love from another human being. And that means there's lack of love of self. It means if you're not 100% in love with yourself, how you gonna be 100% in love with another human being? If you can't love yourself unconditionally, how you gonna love another human being unconditionally? If you can't accept yourself with all your flaws and your hangups and your fuck ups and your beauties and your nightmares and all your crap, all of your achievements and triumphs and hopes and dreams, how you gonna accept somebody else with all of their baggage and all of their crap that they bring in somewhere else? You can't, because you can't even accept yourself. What God is a reflection of God. What you have, the level, that's the level you're gonna attract. God attracts God. So love attracts love, but conditional love is going to attract conditional love. And then when your relationship doesn't work, that's the reason why. You can say they cheated on me and all of that. Yeah, you attracted that. You attracted that to yourself when you didn't love yourself unconditionally. And I didn't realize that until I started loving myself unconditionally. And there was a moment in my relationship where I was like, hey, you work on you, I'm going to work on me. I'm going to work on loving myself unconditionally. You're going to work on loving yourself unconditionally. And we're going to meet once we can talk about what it's like to love ourselves instead of what it's like to love each other. And we put ourselves through this little trial time period to, you know, begin to heal and understand love. It's not that everything else changed. We didn't get more money. We didn't get more stability. We got more self-love, you know. And I would give in the expectation of karma. Do unto others as you'll have them do unto you. Do good and you'll get good. Do bad and you'll get bad. I was doing good to get good. And I be doggone if when I measured my level of do-goodedness compared to the level of get-goodedness, it wasn't. It was like, it wasn't level. I was like, what the fuck? This shit ain't fair. This shit is not balancing out. I was so enthralled in karma and, you know, trying to get back what I get out. That's not up to me. That's not up to me. That ain't even something I can control. The only thing I control is what I give and who I am and how I love. I can't control what comes to me. But, I mean, the universe, it is a such thing. But the universe controls that. The universe decides when it's time for you. God, source, controls when it's time for you to receive that. It's there. The infinite potential for you to be blissfully, live that blissfully happy life is there. You have to love self. Love. If you love self, you're loving God. If you love self unconditionally, you're loving God. It ain't about setting foot in a church. It ain't about a prayer. It ain't about a book, a sermon, a lecture, a YouTube video. It's about self. How you feel about self is how you feel about God. Because there's that God spark in you, that peace of God that was encased in you that you forgot about. You know, you are now trying to discover. So good luck with that. I'm going to get out of here. I hope at the end of the day that something be said or something be done to touch somebody else's heart. And what we used to say in church, it was something, dang, I can't even remember it. Y'all know I ain't been to church in years. It was let something be said or something be done to touch your hearts, and, you know, something. It was something about reading of the scripture. That the words of this book, anyway, may the Lord watch between me and D while we're absent, one to another, till we meet again. Amen. I remember that one. All right, y'all, I'm gone.